Hello, greetings to everyone that is watching this video right now. And before anything else, I just wanted to say thanks to all the 197 people who subscribed to my channel. And you guys really meant a lot to me because as a beginner artist, I am so glad that there are actually people who are supporting me in this journey. And thank you so much for that. And you inspires me to do more, to make more art content, YouTube videos. So in this video, I decided to make a watercolor painting tutorial. It's really not a tutorial, I guess, but I am going to show you the process of how I made a painting. I really don't know how to teach or how to explain the process, but I will try my best to explain what am I doing in this watercolor painting. I'm really excited to do this painting, and the watercolor that I am using it's actually a cheap watercolor that I just bought in Shopee. I think it was around less than 500 pesos. So it's not an artist grade or the professional type of watercolor, but as a beginner, it's really a great deal. The colors are actually vibrant and saturated. However, it is not light fast enough, which means that the colors are actually not resistant to fading, especially when exposed to sunlight. So this watercolor is really not a recommend when doing commissions, because after a long period of time, your pigments will just slowly fade. Now I am just doing the preliminary sketch, and I'm using a color pencil. So just doing the face anatomy. And by the way, the reference of this portrait is Sadie Sink, and I think you might know her in Stranger Things. She is one of the main characters in Stranger Things as Max. I really like her sassy and brave attitude in the movie, and I think that character is really well played by her. And I really just want to say this in advance that you will really be disappointed at the end of this video, because I failed to imitate her face. I somehow didn't make the right color values and was not able to paint some areas of the face correctly. But I still love the result, only that it doesn't look like her. So here I go. I really think that I did good in the sketching process and messed up in the coloring process. My first layer of color is the yellow ochre. I'm starting to feel the whole face, but I am leaving some white areas because these are the part of the face that are highlighted, or basically where the light is coming from. I'm now adding the second layer of color, which is scarlet red and orange red. I really was just figuring out on what color to add next. I don't know why, but I was kind of a bit challenged this time. Maybe it's because of the characteristic of the watercolor that I am using. The color seems to look less saturated once it dries, so that is why I kept on adding so many layers of color to get the right tone. In working with watercolor, you really must have a longer patience, because there are a lot of mixing and layering that's going on in this process. And also you have to be careful because the mistakes in watercolor can be simply erased and it can't be undone compared to the color pencil portrait where everything is still erasable and you can just redo it easily. At this point, the painting still obviously looked like a mess and I actually was about to give up. But as what they said, trust the process. I don't know why, but the color seems not to blend well. And it looks like I only put one series of color, but in fact I already put like more than 3 different colors. I just kept on adding more and more layers of color until I achieved the right contrast of light and dark components of the face. Also, just a reminder that you really should let the previous layer of color to dry first before adding another layer of color, because that will seriously mess up your painting. That's just based on my experience and opinion though, but it still depends on what kind of art style you got. I also seen a lot of artists that prefer to add so many layers while the painting is still wet, and the results are still good, but in my case it really just doesn't work. This is now the most exciting part of the painting, I guess, because I am starting to incorporate the color black to the most important features of the face, which are the eyes, nose, and the mouth. At this point, I think I now figured out what's going on in this painting. Everything will really look clear after you played with the dark colors. I am now working with the hair part, and Sadie is a red hair girl, and I think that's really what makes her more beautiful. See it, guys, it really doesn't look like Sadie at all, but it's fine because it's just a practice. Sometimes we really just have to disregard perfection for us to progress. Am I right or correct? Okay, so now I'm almost done and I am just painting the clothes. So now the only thing that is left is the background. So I am now doing the background, and I just made it simpler. And these are just the similar tones that I did in her clothes. And now I am using a brush pen to do outlining, which I think is the most important part of this process. It is now the final process, and it really gives the painting a clear and more organized look. Finally, I am now removing the tape. And I am not going to throw it because I'm still going to use it for another time. Is it just me, or do you guys do this too? I think they're still pretty usable. So that's all for today. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and I hope that you learned something and you enjoyed this video. Keep safe everyone, and see you to the next video.